Hi, I'm Randy Cross, and this is the Randy Cross Podcast, Season 6, Episode 5. Interesting guest this week. It's Drew Green. He owns a company called BioGenix USA. It's a athletic supplements company. He personally is a bodybuilder and a trainer, and he does all sorts of just amazing work as far as trigger point massage and things like that. But he's got this company, and it's something that, in all honesty, I've been using these products for a couple months. I've gotten a lot stronger. I've got a lot more energy. I've lost over 20 pounds, and I feel just fantastic. So I figured I'd share some of this. He's a smart guy. He's been in the business for a long time. And if you haven't heard of this, there's a good reason. It's just literally come out. I think the site went live last week, and I think it's something you'll enjoy. And we're going to talk a little college football, and then that's going to be about it. We're going to be out. All right? So let's enjoy it, and let's get right to this interview and have a nice conversation with Drew Green. All right, as promised, we're going to talk a little BioGenix USA, and the best person to talk to about that is Drew Green, the man there at BioGenix USA. Drew, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, hey, start off here. Let's talk a little bit about, and I mentioned earlier that, I've been using these products and been working out, and everything's been really, really good. I also mentioned briefly about the amazing trigger point therapy you do, but but talk a little bit about your history in the whole supplements business, because you go back a ways in the business.
Oh yeah, I started out as a personal trainer in one of the top personal training gyms. There was a couple of IFBB pros down in Boynton Beach, Florida, at Jim Willard's World Gym in 1995. And I became certified in ACE, American Council on Exercise, which is one of the top, probably the top certification for personal training. Became an Apex nutritionist the following year. Following year after that, I started learning trigger point therapy, and I went to the American College of Sports Medicine. So, while I was doing all this, I was one of the few trainers that actually had certifications, both training, nutrition, and then also like holistic healing and trigger point. So I did nutrition programs as well as supplemental programs for the people, because it's almost impossible to get the amount of stuff in your food in order to basically maximize your metabolism. And so in 1998, I did a joint venture with Atlas Operations. They were a contract manufacturer of dietary supplements. And I started creating supplements with their chemist, Dr. John Sperdone, and a few other different chemists there. And I created, probably about 30 or 40 products, with Atlas. And then something happened, and I decided to rescind the agreement, and I started my own thing in 2003. And that was when I actually started my first factory. So 2003, I grew really big. Into 2005, I moved from a 4,000 square foot facility to 19,000 square feet. I brought chia seed to the United States. I was the first person to get it approved through the FDA for grass, which is generally recognized as safe. But I basically brought chia seed and marketed it initially, and I controlled the market for about 2 years. So, I've been in this game my whole life. A few years after that, with the chia seed, I landed the Vitamin Shop account. We made 5 SKUs for Vitamin Shop corporate. We also, in 2010 to about 2000 and almost the end of 14, we had the top selling SKU in GNC. All right. And we were making it for another company, and we were selling about 75,000 units a month in the male performance section. So, this is something I've done my entire life. I've been in the dietary supplement manufacturing business, but I also have all the certifications in holistic health, nutrition, personal training. So I understand basically how to heal the entire body from every aspect. Uh, so so then let's fast forward here a little bit to BioGenix, right?
Yeah.
I was you know I was basically in my incubator, because I'm a scientist at heart. I naturally gravitate towards science, and so I had this idea in 2019 for a new nanotechnology. Okay, and by 2021, I had created this new nanotechnology, and then I started using it with dietary supplements. Okay, we call it our Nano 2 delivery system. Now, the idea is you have water soluble ingredients and you have fat soluble ingredients. So what I had the idea, I came up with separating the fat soluble and the water soluble, and then basically using this nanotechnology with the fat for the fat soluble ingredients, doing the same thing for the water soluble ingredients, and then just mixing them together after that. And we had one product, the CE6, and they were using 7 milligrams of ostarine. And, we got good results, but it was eating up the good cholesterol too much because we're doing clinical studies on all the products. Everything's clinically tested. And I decided we need to do this liposomal nanotechnology with it. Well, we put it down to 2.2 milligrams, and we're getting a 400 to 700% increase in absorption rate from the 7 milligrams when we did the blood work. So our nanotechnology is really what separates us from everybody else. That's really how we're different. The other thing that separates BioGenix from all the other companies is we actually test all the products with real people who do blood work, and it's a minimum of 90 days. So we have probably 70 or 80 different people that have basically tested all the different products that we have with blood work before we've actually released them. And then we use scientific journals from like PubMed.gov and like Science Direct. And we do all the research on the ingredients to determine how many milligrams that we need to use based upon human control clinical trials that are online. And we research all that information, and then we actually put the same amount that's in the clinical study into the product. Now, nobody does this because it just makes it way too expensive. Okay. And since it just makes it way too expensive.
Right.
So, but what we do, we decided it didn't matter how expensive the product is. We'd much rather just have a product that worked better than anything else. And so we did something opposite of what all the other dietary supplements do, companies do, which is like take down the ingredients and then just put enough in there to have like some type of an effect, but it's not really going to really fully change like the metabolism, the testosterone absorption, the healing the gut microbiome. So we went the other route and said, you know what, our product's going to be more expensive than everybody else, but they work so incredible, people will pay the money. And what I tell people is would you rather pay $60 for something that doesn't really work, or would you rather pay $100 for something that's incredible? And so we went the route of we're going to make incredible products, not these baseline compete dietary supplements. And the nanotechnology with all the clinical research that we have is really what kind of separates BioGenix from the other brands, because they're not doing it. So we're a real scientific company. We have Lauren Jacobson, who's got a degree in master's in science degree, and she worked for Muscle Tech for 5 years, was part of the R&D department. And she helps with the research and development and the product formulation. She is absolutely brilliant. We have an incredible team. Johnny has been in the dietary supplement industry over 40 years. I've been in it 28 years. So we have over, between everyone, over 100 years of background in this industry. And it's something that's all Johnny's ever done. It's all Lauren's got 24 years in the industry. You got 100 just about right there, just with the three of us. So, we all came together to create more like a legacy brand. That's kind of like more, I like to say, you have like McDonald's is like the cheap place to go eat, right?
Yeah.
And then you have like the value add. You have like maybe Chili's, and then you have like the next type of restaurant. Maybe it's like Ruth Chris, which is kind of like starting to be high end. And then you got Morton's. So we're like the Morton's of fitness. You're going to pay $300 for a steak, but it's going to be the best steak you ever had. So you're going to pay $100 or more on some of our products, but they're going to work more effective than anything else you've ever used before. And you won't believe that the kind of results that you're actually having. But with Randy, talking about you there for a second, Randy, Randy lost 6.5% body fat in 90 days on CE6 and AMPK. And he didn't change his diet. The only thing he did was increase his exercise a little bit because he felt better. Whereas before he was too sore and he didn't feel like he could train that hard. And so all it really did was take up his level of intensity in training. We didn't touch the nutrition at all. And he lost 6.5% body fat. And he looks totally different now within the last, 5 or 6 months I've been working with you.
Yeah, and I talked a little bit about, being able to work out, being able to do all the things, your trigger point, but most importantly, these products. And I've got some of them here on camera. Let's go through real quick. Just give me a thumbnail. Start with the pre-workout, the CE6 pre-workout.
Okay, well, the CE6 pre-workout is non-stimulant. In other words, there's no niacin to make you flushing. We're not a bodybuilding brand. We're an anti-aging brand. If you want to turn back the clock, that's what these products do. So this pre-workout, what it does is it increases the amount of glycogen that can be held into your muscle cell. Now, why is that important? Because the glycogen is what gives you the strength and the endurance. Okay. And so we added that in there. We added like D-aspartic acid and Shilajit. It both raises free and total testosterone. Okay. And so, by raising your free and total testosterone, it picks up metabolism, you recover faster, libido, energy. Right.
Right.
Then we added in chaga mushroom extract, which heals the gut microbiome. A 2-year shelf life heat stable Bacillus coagulans, which is a probiotic that also increases like the absorption of intestinal nutrients and heals the gut microbiome. And then fulvic acid, which is an incredible detoxifier that removes heavy metals. It heals the gut microbiome and it, helps like, different minerals transport across the cells faster. So keeps you hydrated faster. So those are just some of the ingredients that we've used for the pre-workout. And I have to say this, Lauren took 1 serving of the pre-workout and she said she had like a stimulated, almost like a little head buzz, like a nootropic feeling. And we believe that's from the pregnenolone that's in the product, which helps your own body produce more testosterone, but it also is an incredible anti-aging brain nutrient, right? It like Dr. Mark Gordon, one of the top doctors in the world in endocrinology, did a study with 100 milligrams of pregnenolone on basically what do you call it? The DOD, with ex-military, right?
Right.
And incredible results with their PTSD. It helped with the communication and helped them staying more conscious and more aware. So we're using the same amount that was in his clinical study, 100 milligrams. And all the other clinical studies we looked up say to use that amount. but no one's using 100 milligrams of pregnenolone in their product because it raises the cost too much. So we're the opposite. We're putting exactly what needs to be in there to cause the right effect. And it's about the results. When you see the results, you'll understand why it costs more.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you from personal experience, it's a different workout with or without it. It's there's no doubt. How about the AMPK?
The AMPK is an amazing ingredient. And real quickly, all of these products are for both men and women. Okay, and before I get into AMPK, women need some education on testosterone. Women need testosterone, but just about 8 to 10 times less than a man. So the CE6, even though it does raise free and total testosterone, it's still good for a woman because you're not putting it into the body. What you're doing is you're helping your own body make more of it. And so as a woman, you won't get big because you're only going to make that much more testosterone that you normally would have, say, by turning back the clock 10 or 15 years.
Right.
So I just wanted to kind of explain. So all these products are unisex. They're for both men and women. There's no side effects with them. The ingredients are 100% natural and holistic. They're vegan. Even the capsules are vegetarian. So we don't even use excipients in the product. So there is nothing that is unnatural in our product. And so we're 100% natural and a holistic anti-aging nutrition brand. So now switching to the AMPK. The AMPK stands for adenosine protein kinase. And well, what is adenosine protein kinase? Well, what it does is it basically turns back the clock in a number of different ways. One way is it reverses telomere destruction, or at the bare minimum, it slows how fast that you age. There's research that says it reverses it. There's research that says it slows the aging process. And there's a lot of research on AMPK. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of clinical trials. Now, we found which ingredients raised AMPK the most, and we had to do research. R-alpha lipoic acid, which is both water and oil soluble, travels anywhere in the cell. It actually is an antioxidant for the cells and cleans them out. We use berberine hydrochloride, which also lowers blood glucose, just like the RALA. And then we added Gymnema sylvestre, which basically helps your own pancreas to secrete more insulin. And at the same time, it actually blocks insulin or carbohydrates from being absorbed into the bloodstream. So we have like this trifecta, between the RALA, the berberine hydrochloride, and the Gymnema sylvestre, that's basically attacking the blood sugar from different areas of the body and how it's actually working in the endocrine system. So it's making it a lot more effective because you're just not trying to lower blood sugar. You're helping the pancreas secrete more insulin. That lowers blood sugar. So the products that we make, like with the AMPK, again, we're using 1,000 milligrams of berberine, 900 milligrams of RALA. I haven't seen anyone use more than 200 of RALA, but all the clinical research says you need 600 minimum, at 6 to 1,200. So what we did is we went at 900 because 600 milligram is the minimum dose in order to cause any type of AMPK effect on all the clinical research. And by the way, we do have clinical white papers that cite all of the clinical studies that detail exactly how the product works and that it's scientifically sound, backed by real science. And we have these white papers available for anyone. They're a little bit difficult to read to the common person, but if someone has a scientific background or a good understanding of chemistry, they will understand it and will really understand the full effects of the products based upon that clinical white paper. So getting back to the AMPK, there's another key ingredient in there called L-ergothioneine. Now this ingredient's amazing. It reverses telomere destruction. Now what's telomeres? Telomeres basically are part of your genome, and the shorter they are, the older you look. Okay. The longer they are, the longer you live and the younger you look. Now there's your actual age and then there's your biological age. Your biological age being how you actually look for your age and how the body's actually functioning at an age, right? So I'm 48,
Right.
but I would bet my biological age is probably 10 years younger than that. I'm not on any medication. I don't have any types of ailments whatsoever. My body fat is super low, definitely below 10% body fat at 48 years old. And so my biological age is much lower. So you can do that through diet, exercise, nutrition, eating organic foods, drinking a gallon of water a day. That all slows the aging process too. But what this L-ergothioneine does is it actually reverses telomere destruction, which then extends, it's a life extension ingredient. Okay. And there was one study that used 5 milligrams of L-ergothioneine, had 40 men and women, they took it for 5 years, from age 62 to 67. Everyone was 62 years old when they started. 5 years, they used 5 milligrams a day of L-ergothioneine. At the end of the 5 years, what do you think? How many years did you think on average was extended by Randy?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't be able to guess, but I mean, 10?
Well, you're right in the middle. That's exactly right. It was 8 to 12 years. So out of the men and women taking the 5 milligrams, on average, it was 8 to 12 years. And what they did is they took pictures of the telomeres when they were 62, and they took a picture of the telomeres when they were 67. Okay. And that's how they were able to determine an 8 to 12 year in life extension. And so, you're talking about, game changing, cutting edge ingredients, but they're 100% natural. And this L-ergothioneine comes from mushrooms. But you can't eat enough mushrooms to actually get the right amount that you need to actually have this effect, which is the problem. There's not enough in the food. You can't eat enough of these foods to kind of get it without supplementing. And so the AMPK, it really is incredible for weight loss, lowers blood sugar. I have one diabetic. He's off all of his diabetes medication. I mean, him and his doctor did that. I mean, they have to do that. But, he went from 8.3 to 6.9 in 60 days, or no, 90 days, from an 8.3 A1C to 6.9. He's still high. Now he's in the low sixes. He's been on the product about 7 months. Eventually, he's going to get below, the sixes here soon. I had a 67-year-old woman named Michelle Graham. She took the product. She had a high A1C of 5.9. She has a 5.1 A1C now after 90 days. She lost 6.7% body fat, and she was on the CE6 and the AMPK. She took both of them, but she doesn't work out. She does cardio, but does no exercise. And she still lost 6.7% body fat on those two products combined. And Randy, isn't that exactly what you use too as well? Those two products?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I use the pre-workout, the AMPK, the CE6, and even the sleep CBD. I mean, they're all amazing products. It's pretty crazy. I was a little skeptical to start with, but that didn't last long.
No. Now, so finishing up on the AMPK, it's an anti-aging longevity ingredient that also just basically helps you lose weight. There's no stimulants in it, so there's no caffeine. There's no like ephedra-like ingredients in there. These are 100% natural ingredients with no stimulants whatsoever. And I lost 8 pounds in 30 days. And I don't lose weight easily. I may build muscle and lose fat and kind of build muscle and lose fat at the same rate, but I don't really lose weight. I lost 8 pounds in 30 days. That's the most weight I've lost in 30 days, and I can't tell you how long. So it's definitely made an incredible difference in me staying lean and keeping my telomeres, from shrinking, from beginning to
Yeah,
shorter.
I mean that's been my experience has been, and I have lost some weight. Now I've been working out a little more, and all the other things that go with just kind of being smart. But it's a body comp thing that's been different for me. You mentioned the percentage of body fat, but putting on, 7-8 pounds of muscle made a huge difference in my shoulders and my upper body, especially from where I
Absolutely.
was at when I first started.
Awesome. Awesome. So do you want to go on to the sleep CBD?
Yeah, I go to sleep CBD.
All right. So the alpha, it's actually alpha sleep CBD. And what this product does is it elevates your brainwave state from a beta brainwave to an alpha brainwave. Now, why is that important? Well, when you're in beta brainwave state, you're basically, you know, overthinking things. Maybe you have like too many voices going on because of stress, right? And you're kind of juggling
Right.
things in your mind, trying to figure it all out. So when you're doing that, you're in a beta brainwave state. And when you try to sleep, you can't sleep because your mind is overactive, right? So what this does is it raises you from a beta brainwave state to an alpha brainwave state, which is a meditative state. Okay. So by elevating your brainwave state, you can basically improve sleep tremendously, which is what we've done. This is not new information. Dr. Joseph Dispenza, he wrote a book, Becoming Supernatural. He talks about this in his book. That's where I got the idea to actually create the product, was from Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I utilized his understanding and then applied it to the supplements. And so he did all sorts of research on sleep, and everyone who went to alpha was sleeping like babies. So
That's crazy.
yeah, it's pretty
I
amazing.
know it works like a charm for me, and I mean those are the reasons. But all I know is it works.
Yeah, now it's got some anti-anxiety ingredients in there, like linalool is the active of lavender, and everyone know lavender is very relaxing. So what we did is we bought these extractions of these terpenoids, is what they're called, and basically had the lavender and extracted the linalool out of the lavender, because the linalool is what actually causes those effects. Okay. And so we
Yeah.
did that with 6 or 7 different terpenoids, and they all do a little bit different things, but 3 of them raise the brainwave state, and then you have the other ones that are basically supporting, like anti-anxiety, helps you relax. So if your mind quiets down and your body relaxes, you're going to go to sleep.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Hey, we're getting towards the end here. We got a few more minutes left, but talk a little bit about BioGenix USA and the fact that the site is just launched, and what should people do? What's the action going on here?
All right. Well, here's the thing. If you're looking to extend your life, to maybe lose a few pounds and have real internal energy without any stimulants or caffeine, then the CE6 and the AMPK combination are amazing. And we've tested it on over 80 different people with blood work, and every single person lost body fat, build muscle, and some people lost a lot of weight, but they had more weight to lose, right? So I would say, those 2 combinations are the best for body contouring and like a transformational physique, would be taking those 2 products together. If you're looking just for an anti-aging life extension product, the AMPK would fit you really well, right? So
Yeah.
but if you're looking for a transformation, both of those products together are really the key ticket to basically having those types of, body fat reductions and total reshaping of the muscles.
And here at the launch of your site too, you've got this 60-day body transformation challenge going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have the body transformation challenge going on right now. We had 21 people sign up. We haven't even launched the website. The website's launching next week. You can buy on the website now. We just haven't opened up the marketing because we're still dialing a few things in. And I wanted to give everyone a 30% discount. So I created a code, BioGenix30. And if you put that in, it'll work and you'll get a 30% discount on any of our products. And BioGenix is BioGenix 30. And you'll get a 30% discount on all of our products. On our website, we only give a 15% discount on subscription. So I'm giving all of your listeners a 15% increase in discount from what we're actually offering.
Well, thank you. That's good. That could be a little motivation. I like that. Hey, fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to just keep using these products. They work like a charm for me. I can tell you the difference in energy and everything else is night and day for me. And the fact that I can actually lift and work out has been incredible. It's, I don't know. The term life-changing is overused, but it changes your life. That is for positive. Drew, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and we'll do this again soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Randy, for having me on the show. I appreciate it. And I look forward to a long and prosperous life together.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And again, it's BioGenix 30 for that discount. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. This has always been a business and an industry that has interested me. Obviously, I haven't been a professional athlete. You do a lot of working out. And I was always looking for something that you could take and give you an edge and make you feel better, things like that. And this stuff works. And I just thought I'd point it out to people, give you a chance, and have you take a look at it. It's BioGenix, GENIX USA.com. All right. Now let's go to the world of sports. And this week, the world of sports for us is going to be a series of college football games that are being played here in week 0. And we're going to talk a little bit about a couple for next week, for the weekends of September 3rd. All right, let's move to sports. It's just a few football games here. Just wanted to point them out. I've actually got the first game of the college football season. It's Austin Peay at Western Kentucky. It's on at noon Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Western Kentucky put up those video game numbers last year. Their quarterback Bailey Zappi threw for almost 6,000 yards and 62 touchdowns, which was just mind-boggling how you do that. But that's Austin Peay and Western Kentucky. Another game from this weekend is UConn. It's traveling out to Utah State. You say UConn and Utah State, big deal. Well, Jim Mora, who's a good friend, former UCLA coach, former head coach in the NFL also with the Niners and whatnot. He's back in football. He's at UConn. That'll be his first game as a head coach. If you get a chance, check it out. The next game is Vanderbilt at Hawaii. That's on CBS Sports Network. That kicks off about 10:30 Eastern on Saturday night. Aaron Taylor, my buddy, is going to be calling that one, so check that one out. Let's see, what else? West Virginia at Pitt is another game that's coming up this weekend, which should be, that's the old backyard brawl. That one's going to be a lot of fun. Now, next weekend, there's a few games that I think are worth talking about. There's Ohio State and Notre Dame. I mean, you're talking about the number 2 team in the country and the number 5 team in the country. You've got Oregon and Georgia, which is going to be at the Chick-fil-A game here in Atlanta. And that's the number 11 Oregon Ducks. And Georgia, who's going into the season, I think at number 3. How do you win a championship like that and not be number 1? I don't know, but your name's not Bama, so you don't get that kind of respect. And the other game is going to be a little off the board, but it's going to be, I think, an interesting game. Billy Napier is now the head coach at Florida. His opening game at Florida, September 3rd, number 7, Utah Utes come into town. Utah is a tough, physical. They are a good team. If you haven't seen them play football, they're going to be playing Florida next Saturday down there in the swamp. Check it out. All right? Have a great weekend. That'll do it for sports. All right, so that's it for college football. Hey, where do you find us? Well, we got all these social media sites, and we're on all of them. So you can get it there. You can get the podcast at randycross.com. We always sort of say that's the best place to go ultimately. If you go to YouTube, click subscribe, click like, do all that fun stuff. Try to see if you can send it to as many people as possible. If you liked it, I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully if you did like it, spread it around and let others enjoy some of this information, all right? Well, you have a great week, a great couple weeks. It's football season, so my life's about to get crazy. We'll be doing these on a much more regular basis now that football season is here. And what can I say? Happy trails.